Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bling Bling Jam YouTube station. Today, I have a great guest on coming for the first time to the Bling Bling Jam, but I want you guys to know more about him, how he got started in balloons, and an exciting new project he's working on with pumps. We're going to hear all about that in a minute, but first we want to welcome it in to the video, and I want you guys to welcome is Justin Reams all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. So let me get rid of my pin and welcome, Justin, to the Bling Bling Jam YouTube
Hello, hello.
station.
Hello, everybody out there watching. Welcome.
Let everybody know, Justin, where you're from, what your business name is for balloons. We'll get into the pro pumps in a minute and how you got started in balloons in your balloon career. How long?
I live in Jacksonville, Florida, right on the beach, so it's a lot of fun living here. There's a lot to do. The
Oh,
name of
nice.
my balloon company is Twist of Fun Balloon Art, and I've been doing balloons maybe 15 years or so, 10 years, 10 or 11 full time. And really, my specialty is balloon twisting. I mean, I do a lot of kids parties, but I really enjoy doing for like adults, which is a lot of fun. And I also do a good amount of decor. So that's what keeps me going is parties and decorations.
So a real deco twister. That's great. So, Justin, how did you? Because I don't even know. Maybe I do know. You might have told me a long time ago. We met years ago at the Florida Super Jam. I haven't seen you probably in over 10 years. It's been interesting. But with that said, I don't know your story. Like, how did you like fall into balloons? Like, how did that happen?
Well, it's actually a really funny story because I've always worked with kids. I found
You were a
myself in a
teacher.
position. Well, before that, well, I went to school for sport management, which is like the
Oh,
business side of sports.
oh yeah.
And I have friends now that work all over the country in all different sports, but you usually work crazy, crazy hours. But one thing led to another. I ended up working at a kids gym out of college, a place called My Gym, teaching classes, and I was actually the director there, selling kids gym memberships to where they come and learn
Oh,
gymnastics.
cool.
From that, I mean, we did birthday parties and stuff there. After leaving there though, and went to teach school, I taught kindergarten. People would still call me from the kids gym and say, "Hey, can you come to my house and do activities for our kids party? Because we've known you for years." So I was like, "Yeah, sure. What do you like? What are you looking for?" And one guy in particular that I'd gotten close with, he said, "Can you do some balloons?" Said,
Yeah.
"Balloons?" I was like, "I don't know anything about balloons." He was like, "Dude, you've always been awesome with the kids. Just
Yeah.
whatever you can figure it out, like just do whatever you do." So I said, "All right, well, let's see what happens." And that was really what got me started. It was a
Wow.
favor for a friend. I mean, he did pay me some money. It wasn't like maybe like $50 or something.
Yeah.
Um, but it was literally a favor for a friend that got me started into the
Right.
balloon journey, I guess you could say. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of stuff online. There
Yeah.
wasn't, you go on YouTube, there was very little videos,
Yeah.
but who was posting videos then was Buster Bloom.
Yeah.
And that's kind of who got me started in looking. And honestly, I was learning the ideas from those videos, and then I would go and try to make my own things, and I would spend hours making something now that would literally take a minute, right?
Yeah.
And using the dollar store, the cheap balloons, not really knowing there was a better way. So that's kind of
Right.
how I got started was just for this party, doing something that I'd never done, with the balloons, but I'd always done kids parties. So I was very comfortable in front of the people, in front of the kids and messing up and not really caring
Sure.
about that. And literally I just never stopped. It just one thing led to another. And here I am.
Right. Well, big well, well, big question. Are you still friends with the person that got you started? Does
Uh,
he?
y- I am actually. I mean, we're
Oh,
we're
good.
not we're not like we don't see each other all the time. They actually moved to another city, but we keep up on
Does
on
he know
social
what's happened
media.
to you since?
He does, and
Oh,
he's
that's good.
followed my career,
Right.
my balloon career, and it's always funny because if I have something that's big and cool, maybe a project and a big installation, usually he'll comment on it and so I started it all or something like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Oh, that is
Um,
fun. That's awesome. What
but
a
yeah,
great
so it's
story.
interesting. That was a very interesting way to start compared to what most people say,
For
how they
sure.
got started in
For
balloons.
sure, for sure. And I know that you when you said you talked about hours, I know we were all like that, but I do remember chatting with you about how you mentioning how many hours you spend practicing like 30 hours, 40 hours. You were some number I said, Justin, it shows. And I said that years ago to you. So definitely for sure you do some great balloons. So how did you from the initial friend of the $50 party, how did you decide to keep going and get more into? You just liked the balloons?
You
Uh,
know, I did. I just enjoyed it. It was something different for me. I mean, I've never really been an artsy person because I have people all the time, oh, you must have painted or you must have been some type of art person. I'm like, no, no, the only art I do is balloons. Um,
right,
just I think it was just something that I just genuinely
liked.
intrinsically enjoyed.
Hmm.
And I don't even think I made any money or attempted to make any money with it for a while.
Yeah.
But at that time I just gotten married, so newlyweds. And
Yeah.
at that point in your life, most people aren't rolling in money, so
Yeah.
it was like, what, this could be a little extra money to kind of help us get going. And that's kind of how that got started, just because it was like, hey, I really like doing this, and I guess you can make money with it. So I don't I don't remember specifically beyond that first favor for a friend. I don't remember the party after that,
I
but I know that it started doing maybe one or two a month,
yeah.
but it picked up really quickly because
Yeah.
at that time, like, I didn't know anybody else that did balloons. I had no idea that there was a community. So as I got more into it, I was like, well, I need to get some better balloons. I looked online,
Hmm.
and then I came across the Florida Super Jam, actually page, and I was like, holy crap, this is like 2 hours away from me. I
Yeah.
got to go check this out,
Right.
and went down there the first time, not knowing anybody or any about anything other than what I'd seen on
Right.
YouTube and done myself. So that it was a really fun ride. It was a
Yeah.
fun time.
Yeah, I don't know if it was I don't know I was helping the Florida Super Gym a lot. I met you. I don't know if it was your first time there or whatever, but I know that I met you early on, which was awesome, and seeing you move on up with stuff, which is great. So tell me, with the other gigs you started doing a couple a month, was that for pay at that point or not for pay?
Yeah, yeah, that was like, I think I was doing $60 an hour. And I
Okay.
was thinking, man, a
Yeah.
dollar a minute,
Yeah.
that's big money,
Yeah.
that's real good.
Yeah.
Um, Not thinking about, well, what about the hundreds of hours that you've put in to learning,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But I think at first, when you're a younger person, you just look at what's in front of you instead of the big picture on,
Yeah.
in general. And I think that's probably more what I was doing,
You liked
but
it. Yeah.
it worked because I enjoyed it, and it was putting money in my pocket, right? I wasn't losing money, but I
Right.
was definitely leaving some money on the table. Um, but I don't know. I mean, at that point, looking back at photos, it was probably only worth $60 an hour.
Yeah. Well, right, right. We're always critical of ourselves, of course. What did your wife think about you, or did you start doing the movies before you were married or after you're married? And okay,
After, yeah.
what did she think about it?
Um, she's always been supportive
Oh,
of
good.
it, and she's always thought it was cool.
Oh, good.
She's definitely seen, she's kind of been the person that tells me what I'm really doing. And then
Yeah,
what I say, that it's like you make this sculpture, right? And you put a lot of thought into it, and maybe it has a technique in it that's really difficult, and I'm really proud of it. And then you're like, I can't wait to show this to somebody. And you show it to someone that doesn't do balloons, and they
yeah,
say, that looks creepy, or I don't like, that looks stupid, or no, I would not show that to anybody. And I'm like, what? Really?
yeah.
So she's kind of always been that voice of reason
Oh, yeah.
that
That's
says,
good.
don't make that for someone. No, you need to try again.
Oh, wow.
Someone that it's coming from a place of wanting to see me succeed.
Yes.
So then I go back and tweak it and until someone that's not a balloon person says, that's cute. I like that. I mean, I think people would like that
Mhm.
versus, yeah, please don't. Please don't embarrass yourself.
Right. So your wife doesn't touch balloons at all.
No.
No.
Only to throw them away when they're
Okay.
popped.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So after you're doing your couple gigs, a couple $60 an hour gigs, was it after you went to the convention that you started upping your pay and or doing were you focused just on birthday parties? Did you decide you wanted a different focus? I know there was a jump when you left your job, but I don't know if that was when you got into Deco Twister. But let's talk first about how you moved into a couple
So,
parties a month of $60 on from there.
so definitely after going to Super Jam and
Yeah,
getting connected with just so many people, and I would specifically shout out Mark Byrne. He was probably
yeah,
one of the most influential people that really made an impression of with just his style and what he does.
sure.
And just seeing someone make anything within a couple of minutes, it was just mind blowing to me. And then
Yeah.
not only that, him taking the time to talk and to show and to teach.
Mhm.
And it was that really helped me from, starting out.
Sure,
And if you know Mark, you know that he's for his area, he's not the cheapest guy and talking about
sure.
um pricing and whatnot. And it was after that I realized, okay, I need to move it up a little bit. So I think I
Yeah,
moved it to like $100 or maybe 100 for the first hour and then
right,
$60 an hour or something like that.
right.
And then as you got busier, because I've always enjoyed business as well,
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna at this point do this until I get busy, and then if I get to the point to where I'm too busy, then I'll increase my prices a little bit
right,
until I'm right where I want to be. So
right.
that was just a process that just took time, and
Yeah,
that's I mean I'm still doing that today, right?
sure.
If you're so busy and you can't keep up and you have all your friends booked out and you're booked out, maybe it's time to up it a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, so that's I mean I'm still practicing that now,
yeah,
even with decor. It's the
yeah,
same principle. Um, as long as you're making money, it really is the important thing, and
yeah,
you're not intentionally trying to undercut or do something like that to another business or friend. Should be a
yeah.
friend, that's also doing balloons in town. But that was really what happened is just realizing like, hey, there's a lot of potential with this. I just need to keep getting better. And word of mouth is all I've ever used. I still don't have a website to this day.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's great.
Yeah, I've
Justin,
only
oh,
done
go ahead.
word of mouth.
Yeah, no, word of mouth is the best way to do it, for sure. There's no question. Most of my business is word of mouth too, so I like that. But I love your business mind, and we talked about that before. I want to circle back to what you said. You definitely have a business mind and common sense. I love what you said as well about gauging if you're too busy or what have you. We call that in business, for people watching this, and of course, let Justin know that you like what he said. He's looking at the comments as well, as am I. It's called supply and demand. So the biggest thing is that that's a really good way of gauging any business because, like in real estate, a lot of people don't know this. I'm a realtor as well, right? And what happens is it's about what the market's willing to bear. So obviously, if people are willing to pay more, then houses go for more. And if they're not, then they go down in price. It's the same thing with your gigs. Like Justin just said, if you are overbooked and your phone is ringing, you probably need to raise your prices. That means that you are doing pretty good and or your brand or like Justin doesn't have a
Well,
website.
I would say, to interrupt you, I would
Yeah,
say your phone should always be ringing, but if every
yeah,
single person says
that's
yes
right.
every time, then
Yes,
you probably could up it a little bit,
correct,
maybe a lot, depending on where you are.
correct.
That's really the thing is if people know about you, they're going to call, but not everyone that calls should be able to
Right,
afford what you're doing, or it's
right,
just not maybe where they're at. But
right. Supply.
anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. So it's good that you said that. And just to clarity, supply and demand, and when we talk about the real estate analogy, it's what is sold and or booked. So we're clear about that. So for sure, no, good point. Thank you for saying that. That way people have that. So awesome. Okay. So how did the after you start doing parties or what have you, did you find another area you wanted to focus in, or did not happen until you hit the decor area? Meaning, like, did you want to get into corporate stuff? Did you just wait for
So
the phone to ring? Did you focus on anything?
I really focused just on twisting for parties. That
Okay,
was really what I wanted to do and what I enjoyed. And
sure.
I at that point for a long time I was really against using a menu of any kind. I had no business not using a menu, but I didn't use a menu for a long time because
Pushing yourself.
I really liked what Mark did. What Mark Byrne did was he was like, I can make anything. And he
Yeah.
was like, you work off of these principles and you can make anything. You just have to keep your mind open and out of the box
Mhm.
on with these principles, you know.
Yeah.
And that I think that really helped me a lot. And I made some big mistakes, you know, with how many people you had and what you
Yeah.
thought you should be making versus, you know, the whole how long should a sculpture take? That's a different conversation. But
Yeah,
I think that phase really I grew more in that phase than any other time. Right.
for
Um,
sure.
at this point, I usually have a menu, but I rarely don't make stuff that's not on menu. Like people ask for it, yeah. If I know how to do it, sure.
Yeah.
But and then let's see, going from parties to decor, when I made that jump, is when I decided to quit teaching
Yeah.
because it got to a point to where it was like I was doing really good on the weekends.
How long's that
Just
been
do
since you quit teaching?
About 10 years.
Okay.
I've been full time, yeah,
Yeah, that's
maybe
awesome.
10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And what I knew I needed to do decor. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think just twisting will be good enough.
Hmm.
Not with a growing family. So I
Yeah.
said, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I need to learn and get a good foundation. So I went to float.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like coming up within like a couple of months of saying, well, if this is what I'm doing, I went online and booked everything. I was like, let's make this happen.
Hmm.
Um, I would say I learned so much the first time going to float, really not knowing anything about decor. It
Hmm.
was huge. Like it was so much information. Stuff now that you look at and almost take it for granted and you think, oh, that's not like I didn't I didn't get anything out of it. Well, I got a lot out of it the first time because I didn't know anything.
Sure.
So I had notes and books and everything. And that just kind of got me started with a good foundation of how to do decor with the framing and like,
Mhm.
what do you do? Now I know. Then I knew. So that kind of got me going. Before that, I think I'd done one column or something like that, and it was a nightmare.
Right. Right.
Not having auto like inflators or
How many
whatever.
years ago was that you went to float?
That was it was when I jumped to full time, it was 10 or 11 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
it was 10 or 11 years ago whenever I quit teaching. I'd quit, went to float, and then hit the ground running.
Yeah, got it. Good, good. Well, that's awesome. So, and like you said, some of the things have changed from way back when with everything. It's amazing when we look back at stuff. I was even I met you and stuff we were all making. It's crazy for all of us. So I love that. Looking back at stuff, it's always good and reminders. Plus, we all look younger too, right? It's just so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I'm like, holy crap, what happens? It's all good. That's cool. So where I know we're gonna get into your plants, but where is there any area that because remember this channel is not just about the Bling Bling Jam, it's about sharing about you and about different artists so people can know you better. And also we live a life of abundance of sharing things, right, in terms of business and things like that, because we feel like it's good to do that and that we kind of raise the bar, kind of like how you learned what you're more worth, right? As you got better and stuff as well. So, is there any area, first, two questions, any area you haven't worked on that you want to look at, meaning a marketing area, for example, a bar mitzvahs, or it could be weddings, or it could be, and you might have dabbled in it, but something that you want to get, or trade shows, that's my thing. that you might want to tackle? If you might not, you might be happy, and that's okay too. But is there any area like that that you like to look at with your business, with your balloon business? I'm talking about.
I think I've done a little bit of all those things.
Yeah,
Um, and kind of what I've been going after or I enjoy is doing weddings.
mm,
Weddings are a lot of fun, but it's twisting at weddings,
yeah,
not decorations at weddings. I haven't done too many bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs.
yeah,
That I mean, there's a pretty big Jewish community here in Jacksonville, so that's probably a miss on my part. I probably
yeah.
should do more to
I
reach
can help
out.
you with that if you
Because
want.
I do know like some of the people and a lot of like there's a Jewish Community Alliance Center. I've done stuff with them, so they do know kind of who I am, but I haven't pursued or really pushed or
Sure,
said, hey, this is a package. So I
sure,
would definitely say that would be something that I could do
sure,
um, more would be to pursue that.
sure.
Um, but I mean, as far as
Only,
marketing
only if
goes,
only if it interests you. It's whatever area interests
well,
you.
wherever people are, and
Sure.
the thing is I enjoy working with older kids or adults. I mean, I
Yes.
enjoy little kid parties.
Yes.
It's a good time. But
Yes.
I would rather do an all
Older
adult event.
kids.
I mean, I would rather do like teenagers, adult. And the reason is
Yeah.
they appreciate
Yes.
more of what you're doing instead of it being a quick
Yes.
piece that maybe not a lot of like care and a lot of detail went into.
Yeah.
Kid doesn't care. They just want the balloon. They
Yeah.
don't care that you put highlights in
That's
the
true.
eyes,
That's
right? But an adult or an older person, they look at it, and the
yeah.
longer they look at it, they're like, "Oh my
That's so
gosh!"
cool.
And
Yeah.
oh wow, I just noticed that, and I've been looking at it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's kind of what I enjoy is seeing that transformation of people say, kind of, what's the balloon guy doing here, and to being like, can you do just one more,
Yeah.
when it's time for you to leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, so seeing that transformation with people is what really makes that fun for me. But
Sure.
and I think, pursuing bar mitzvahs or bat mitzvahs would definitely be
Sure.
a good thing to do. So
Sure.
you have to give
Okay.
me some help with that.
Oh, I'll be happy to. Of course, definitely. Justin, so okay, at the weddings, so you just twist it. You don't try to sell the decor to them, or you just don't want to do that at the weddings, or
No, so for weddings, this is my philosophy.
the brides are picky.
No, the bride and groom, I have very little contact usually with them,
Yeah, I know.
even leading up to it. Usually you deal with a planner
Yeah.
coming in, and I send them a package. So I just have everything written out, and I just send them a package, and these are my options for a wedding. Of course, we
Yeah.
can customize anything. We can do whatever you want, but this is what I offer for
Yeah.
general package ideas. And I'll have like a 500, 800, 1,500 to $2,000 package, right?
Hmm.
And what that entails is pre-made hats, headbands,
Yeah.
and an hour of twisting. And you say, well, pre-made stuff, that's usually not as exciting. Well, it is
It is.
because they're all different. So let's
Right.
say someone selects a package where I bring 100 pre-made hats, headbands, hats, whatever. They're all different.
Right.
So it's everything from Homer Simpson eating a donut,
Yeah.
to Mickey Mouse smoking a cigarette, right? It's like whatever you want to put on it. This is
It's a
for
party
adults.
favor too, so that everybody who
Yeah,
is to
and
be excited.
they're
Right.
they're they're mostly headbands
Yeah.
are great for that because people put them on, they'll wear them. And so then you have a space at the venue. They like the planner can get you a space, and this should be a secret. Like, I'm like, don't tell everybody. This should, like, don't even tell the wedding party. Bride and groom know, the parents know, you know.
Yeah.
So then I get there early enough and set up everything, lay it out on the table. Um, and then before they kind of, when the dancing is starting, the bride and groom come in, they bring in the wedding party. It's like they shop. They say, oh my gosh. And just to see the reactions of
Yeah.
those people when they walk in and see such a huge assortment of wearable things. And these aren't quick little things. These are like, they have all the bells and whistles on each piece. Um, and they choose whatever they want, and then they all head out at the same time. So all of a sudden, the party goes from "this is great, this is fun" to turned on its head. What is happening right now?
Yeah,
And it really electrifies the wedding like party, like what's going on.
I
Even the
bet.
band usually ends up wearing hats.
Yeah, of course.
Like everybody, and then this has happened at multiple weddings. People start switching hats, right? It's like people are switching balloon hats, and the whole
Yeah,
idea is that the guests are the decorations,
yeah,
right? So that's what I do for weddings, and it really is you have to see it. I mean, it really turns, it electrifies the atmosphere.
magical.
And
Yeah,
I even did a 10-year anniversary party
yeah,
with some people. I did their wedding. 10 years later, people show up and they're like, we were hoping that the balloon guy was going to be here.
right,
Because that's one of the things that they remembered from the wedding. I mean, that's
right,
what people are talking about. I have people,
right.
message me months later, years later, maybe I'm doing their kid's first birthday, right? Did their wedding, and they're like, people, that's all people talk about when we talk about our wedding is the balloons.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's awesome, Justin. That's great. That's great. And I know your balloons are good, so I know they're making a big impact. But I love that at the wedding about the switching the hats and stuff. That's and so true. It becomes the decoration of them all having a good time, dancing, I'm sure, whatever wearing their hats and
Oh yeah.
That's great. That's great. Very cool. Okay. Was there anything we left out about your business that you want to share with people about what you've done, what want to do, or do we cover that? And or anything else you want to share about business in general that you don't mind sharing about balloon business, whether it's twist
Um, I
or
mean, as far as my balloon business goes, I'm in a happy place
yeah,
because I feel like different people are always saying, and you see the most popular people on social media always promoting growing your business and getting bigger and doing more and doing more. And I think that's awesome.
yeah,
However, you get to a point to where if you grow more, then you have to make big changes
yeah,
and you can never go back, not without consequence, right? So I've never really wanted to have employees. I
right.
like being able to be me, and I have people that help me, but they're not an employee, right?
Yes,
I am not interested in getting office space or some
right,
type of warehouse space. I don't want to rent anything. My overhead is the mortgage on my house and
right.
buying the balloons, right? So
Yep,
it costs me very little to operate.
yes,
So I charge the same as what other people are doing. So I'm making a higher profit margin usually,
right.
which enables you to, if you needed to, you could do less and still make
Exactly.
okay, right? If something happened. But
Yep,
that's just where I'm at and where I'm at
yep,
now. Maybe I'll change. Maybe I change my mind or I feel
right,
differently about it in a month. But that's
right,
kind of where I'm at with
right.
with kids and
No,
being
I
available for family.
think that's great.
That's kind of where I'm at with the business and what I'm doing and kind of where I want to be.
Mhm.
Of course, everyone wants to make more money, but then you have to look at, well, what do you got to do to do that? And
No
is
more
that
headaches,
worth,
right?
what are you going to sacrifice for
Yeah,
that, you know?
yeah,
And with kids just getting into, high school sports, it's like, I want to be there. Like
yeah,
that's more important to me,
yes,
than growing and maybe not having the ability to do that.
of
Um,
course.
so that's with balloons. I mean, of course, parties, decorations, I do anything anybody wants. If it's a balloon, I'll do it. Figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah. No,
Um,
Justin, I love what you said, as I feel the same way. And people, and it is great what other people are doing, but it doesn't mean that what they're doing is for you or you listening, right? It's whatever works for you, and success really depends upon what you think it is. If you're doing like that, you're successful. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's great. So that's amazing. So keep up the good work. I love it.
yeah, it's always a good time, and I really enjoy having a good balance because
Yeah,
some weeks it seems like it's all decor, and then other weeks it's 12 hours of twisting. You know,
yeah,
it just so it doesn't get monotonous because it's always something new, and I do a lot of like custom decor,
yeah.
not just like arches and columns and organic arches.
Right.
Everybody does those.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But having something else on the table for people and saying, well, I could do that, or we could do this, and you
Right.
never know. I never make their decision. I let them tell me no. I just let them know what it would take for me to do it, right?
Sure. Sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about and we'll talk about Bling in a minute. Let's talk about this pro pump business that fell into you. And I was so excited. I opened mine up yesterday,
Mm.
and I was like blown away. You
Oh,
guys,
you can't see it. There we go.
we can see it. We can see it.
Oh,
Uh,
you can now.
I was blown away by the pro pump I got. Mine was red and blue. As I told Justin, call me Spider-Man. What a great pump. I mean, I just inflated a couple balloons and I was like, the pump thing on the side and it's nice and heavy and really I'm happily surprised. But tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing it. I guess
So
yeah.
the pump thing,
Yeah.
it literally kind of fell into my lap because
Yes.
I've
Just
used
like the
filbert
balloons
pump.
did.
Yeah, what
Which is great.
right? I've
Yeah.
used it did start by accident. I've used a filbert and I had a Mac pump before,
Yeah.
like a floor pump. I'm not big on electric stuff, so
Yeah.
I've always said I used to mouth inflate before COVID. After COVID, I've only used a pump.
Right.
Um, and I found myself really using my Mac pump more than the filbert pump, just because it was
Okay.
heavier or whatever. But anyway, so in using those, I'm always getting my balloon bag in and out of my van. I have a big balloon van and we keep it in the
Yeah.
garage. And I set it out on the other side of the garage and left it there for whatever the reason. And my wife ran it over. So
Oh no, with their
when she
car?
pulled
Oh,
in the garage with the other car, you can't. They
oh,
have an
geez.
expedition, so you can't see like directly
I
in front of you.
see.
And she had no idea it was even there. She didn't see it,
Oh,
and it broke the base off.
mhm.
She
Sure it
ran over my
did.
bag and everything, and it only broke the base off of the pump.
Wow.
So I wasn't mad. I left it there. I was like, it's fine. I have another one. Like, don't worry about it. I was like, I could probably fix it or just make one,
Yeah.
or just buy another one. So you can't buy another one. I mean, you can buy another one, but they're difficult to get from the other makers. And Filbert's been around a long time, amazing pumps. But
Yeah.
I talked to someone that was waiting 2 years, whether there was a miscommunication or for whatever the reason they weren't able to get a pump.
Okay.
Um, so I spent the time and figured out how to make a pump, and it was not easy. You think, oh, let me just get a piece of pipe and get some parts and put them together, and it'll just work. It was a lot more than I didn't realize I was biting off so much. To get it to work smooth and to just everything to just work. That's kind of been my motto for doing the pumps for myself. And I'll tell people is it just works. Like it just needs to work. You don't need to
Yeah.
do anything to it. It just needs to work. So that has over the last, let's see, that was probably November when that happened. I got a router for Christmas and got some some um some plastic sheets and started off machining everything by hand,
Yeah.
which was a lot. It makes a really big mess. And but the first one, that's everything is literally machined by hand. And then my son was interested in getting a 3D printer. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
What if I could 3D print these parts
Yeah.
and then I could do colors? So we got the top of the line 3D printer
Mhm.
and I got all the software and figured out how to use it and transferred the dimensions and everything, and it worked. And the material that I'm using is PETG plastic, which is highly heat resistant. So if you leave it in a hot car, it's not going to melt the plastic,
Oh,
right?
great.
Um,
That doesn't seem that's plastic. Wow.
it is. Do you have yours in front of you? The
Oh no,
top
it's
part,
downstairs, but it's
the
pretty solid.
this part here
Oh
is
yes.
is
Yes.
plastic, and
Yes.
then the bottom
Yes.
is it's funny the pump disappears.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, is
It's
PET
it.
G. So this is all printed.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and it prints about 550 degrees, I think, is what it
Really?
melts it to. And it does a really good job. So
Yeah.
I did some testing with can I break this? And it's really hard to break
How
it.
did you break or break it?
You can break it. You
Yeah.
can break it. I've
Yeah.
had one get broken in shipping. And I just
Oh,
sent
yeah,
them
you
a new
told me
pump.
that.
And
Yeah.
yeah, something really bad happened to that pump. I don't know what happened, but it was really bad to see the shape it was in. So I don't think any amount of packaging would have made a difference.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it's been many, many, many hours of tinkering to get these things to work like you expect,
Yeah.
like from a Filbert. Because if you think Filbert, you think that's a great pump. You
Yeah.
know, Mac pumps, excellent pumps. People have them for 20 years and they're still going. Um, but now there was nowhere else to really get one quickly, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of motivated me to say, hey, you know what? I need one. I spent all this time figuring this out. Why not say, hey, if anyone needs one,
Yeah.
let me know and I'll make you one. Because now I have like the recipe down to do it. And
Sure.
that's kind of led me to where we are here. And it is in constant state of being improved,
Oh,
whether it's like something
sure.
internal or something just to make it work better.
Sure.
The nozzles, I told you that the nozzles
Yeah.
were a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of hose barbs,
Yeah.
which is what was on pretty much all the other pump
Oh,
is like,
yeah.
a hose barb. I thought I
Yes.
had one up
'Cause
here.
it can rip the smaller balloons too, but no, yours is
Well,
nice.
it can. However,
Yeah.
this is a hose barb.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But now it's
Is that on the one you
on.
sent me? I don't think so. I don't know.
It is. It
Okay.
is
I
on
was
the
like
one I
blown
sent
away
you.
by it. Okay.
So it doesn't look like a hose barb anymore.
No,
Because it is shaped like a cone.
I
And
see.
you can use the 360 and bigger and it'll seal
Yeah.
on there. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the thing. I just grind off the first part. So it's a little bit of work
Oh, that's
involved.
good.
So
Yeah.
it's smooth. But now it's a smooth cone all the way down and it's not going to break. I've tried 3D printing them. Some people actually have 3D printed parts.
Yeah.
But I sent them like extra nozzles and stuff, and hopefully we'll see how long those last. At the end of the day, I'll replace it for them if they have problems.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
um, but yeah, so and then with that, you also have
Oh, nice.
facing upward, because a
Yeah.
lot of people were really unsure about the side nozzle. So
Right.
I got these, and they're really nice. If you're used to
Yeah.
the balloon inflating upward, or you
Right.
want it to the side. No, I make the other ones like more the traditional. They're not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I do make those for people
I wasn't sure
when they
about the
ask.
one to the side that you sent me when I saw it. I was like, I don't know if, but I liked it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that actually worked
Well,
really good.
I would say that from what I've been told and through experience, the handle is more. It's going to be more comfortable on your wrist and your body than the other type.
Yeah.
They both work great. Nothing wrong with the other one. You get used to it, right? But
Yes.
this just it's a little bit. I think maybe more of a natural motion
Yeah.
instead of having to do
Oh,
something
right. Right.
that that's a little bit awkward at first. You get used to it and it feels like normal, but um,
Right.
people have their wrist hurting and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the
You have
pump
enough
thing.
carpal tunnel issues twisting balloons, right? You don't need any more.
Not yet, but maybe
No,
one
no. A
day. I
lot.
don't have any
I
hand
meant a
problems, thank
lot of
goodness.
people do. A lot of people do. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Justin, so hold on a second. How long has it been since you've been making these pumps? That's what I want to know.
I would say probably January
Oh, wow.
2025 was really when I was like had some that I was like
Oh, cool.
the first ones are being made. Like this is still a new thing. This
Yeah.
is I'm only less than a year in. Um and I have different, other people around town that work with me doing balloons. They have like some of the first pumps for
Yeah.
testing, right? And we all had like backup extra pumps in the car in case it failed. Because
Yeah.
I went through a few iterations with
I'm sure
different
you did.
types of valves that failed. And you're working and it's like, okay,
Happens.
this is not going to work because it just needs to work.
Yeah.
right? I just needed it to work without having to do anything extra. Um,
Hmm.
so that's why I say there's been a lot of R&D. And of course I took everything I knew about the other pumps. I took them apart and looked at them and looked at the pieces and how they worked. But something different, there we go, about these is you can switch the top, right?
Oh, nice.
So if you decide you wanted one of another type, that just comes off.
Oh,
Well, it
nice.
disappeared.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so you could take yours off if you did want to switch it to the nozzle going straight
Oh,
up,
perfect.
you could do that. And your check valve is in here, right?
You're gonna be selling
So
those separately?
I have sold a few separately.
Yeah.
But absolutely, if you
Right.
did need one, I don't know why anyone want one other than just
That's
because
true.
they like having a collection. Because
Right.
this is all heavy. I mean, I used
Yeah.
plastic epoxy to attach because these are 3D printed as
Yeah.
well. That's all epoxy together. But if your valve stops working, literally you take this off and wash it out in the sink. Just
Oh,
run some water in there and wash it
really?
out because that means some debris got between. There's a little ball
Oh,
and seal, and then you can put some grease on your finger and rub it in there. You can service the actual
exactly.
valve, and you can't take it apart. It's all glued together, but you can get to it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, if something did happen, you could just get a new one of these and not a new everything,
Right.
right? So that way, if someone really wanted to figure it out, they could do it themselves even. I mean, again,
Yeah.
the pumps are a side thing for me
Yeah.
to help the situation
Of
in the
course.
balloon community.
Sure.
That's really been my motivator is just
Sure.
to have something
That's
available
great.
for people. Because I know it's frustrating
People appreciate that.
when you're trying to get something and you just can't get it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, of course.
Um, so yeah, that's the pumps. And then are there other things in the works that I'm not ready to share yet?
No,
Yes,
no
there
problem.
are. There are other things for the pump, different versions,
Yeah.
other ideas,
Yeah.
but I'm one guy. And that's
Oh,
why I
of
tell people
course. Of
when
course.
you order a pump, I
Yeah.
ship them out within a week of them being paid
Yeah.
for, usually sooner.
Yeah.
Um, but I say, if I get a really big job and I have to do it, I'm a full-time balloon person. This
Of
is a
course.
side thing. It's a priority to me, but balloons are the number one.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
just let people know up front, like what's happening, and I haven't had
Yeah.
issues so far.
Yeah,
But
so this video will be residual, obviously, on the YouTube station. And Justin obviously does not have a website for anything, but he does a site for his Facebook. So we'll,
yeah, have a
yeah,
Facebook for
you'll
the
send me
pumps.
the
Yeah.
link and I'll put that in the description. And and people let him know that you heard about it through the Bling Bling Jam YouTube station. I don't know what if it gets you any points, it might. Okay. And just so that he sees that, which is great. So let's talk about that. So we're excited. First time I haven't seen you in over 10 years. And again, you've never been in the Bling Bling Jam before, so you don't know the culture and all that, of course, yet. But a lot of people are excited that you're coming, but also excited about the pumps. I already several people want to order them, and they can, which is great. I'm going to try to get them to pre-order, but stay tuned. But with that said, let everybody know. And again, it was just worked out with you and your son. You're able to come, and I totally get it. But let everybody know why you're excited to come and debut the pumps there. And I think
So
you're going to be asking a lot of questions to people when they're. I don't know what you have planned with how you're going to do all that, but also coming to Vegas is kind of fun, and we have a lot of cool people coming that I know. Darren Mortarboy knows you, and he's excited that you're coming, and there's other people too that you don't know. A lot of people at the Bling Bling does a group that you never met before, so it's going to be
mm-hmm.
awesome. But they want to know about your pumps. They want to see them. They want to buy. So, so
Well, and that's the thing. For people coming, well, first off, the Bling Bling Jam, I've never been there, and so I'm excited to check it out. I love going to balloon conventions. I've taught at all the major conventions, not Bling Bling, but I've done,
yeah,
Super Jam, Twist and Shout, I taught at Float.
yeah,
Um,
not
and
Bling Bling. Yeah, it
that
weren't.
was all kind of pre-COVID. And then
Yeah,
ever since then, I haven't really gotten back into doing anything
yeah,
with tutorials and teaching
yeah,
balloons to other people. So I'm excited to kind of get back into that a little bit. But then instead of being a sponsored instructor where they kind of say, hey, we need you to do these things and we need to do
yeah.
this stuff. Now I'm like one of the vendor people. So it's
Yeah,
kind of coming, I guess, and seeing it at a
it
different
is.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to have something, and it's a little bit scary to be like, you know what? If I don't sell anything, then I'm still gonna have a good time, right? It'll be the worst case, we have a nice work vacation. Um, but again, if people want to pre-order pumps, and maybe I know there's a place where I can send them and they could get them and have them there, if they let me know
Yeah,
ahead of time,
yeah. We'll do
that's
the
totally fine. But for me, if they don't want to pre-order, I don't care. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm
You want
I'm
it
do
to
this is a
do.
side thing for me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
is it gonna make us some money? It will, but that's to pay for. It's like to pay for the pump obsession, right? I want to be there for the balloon community. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without the community. So this is just something that I can do to give back because
Right,
it just felt like it was the right thing to do and the right timing to do it. Um, but to come in and to be able to show a new product, I guess a new take on an old product, a floor pump, and to just see people hopefully maybe get their first floor pump or to use one for the first time because a lot of people now they don't
yeah,
have them. A lot of people they're just getting into balloons didn't even know they don't even know they exist.
right,
Um, so I don't really know what to expect. You know, I've never been a vendor
right.
for anything. So I'm just excited to come and talk to people and
Of course.
hear ideas of someone may have an idea that a tweak that needs to be made, and because I'm actually fabricating the parts myself, I can
Right,
change it. Right? It's not like I have 1,000 ordered and it's like, well, we got to sell through these before we can fix that. It's like, no, the
right,
next one's going to be fixed. Like they're all going to be better and not have to sell through a huge stock, right?
right.
Um, I'm just excited to see where it goes because literally it's just almost like a hobby right now. It's more than a hobby, but I'm calling it a hobby. Uh, but it's and then my son's coming with me who's just starting to learn a few balloons. He's
Oh,
never
good.
done balloons before.
Hmm.
So it kind of gives us a chance to go and do something
Right,
together.
right,
So it's just it's all wins and no losses. Like there's really no
right.
reason not to go, right?
Of course, of course. Well, again, no one knows anything about anything that's new, and that's the long-term thinking, which I know you're in it for, and that's the whole thing. But we definitely had interest, and we sold out of the vendor space this year, so we're excited about that. But I'm also excited to see how people react to your pumps, and in the jam room, if you allow people to do that, and
Well, I
good.
want to definitely have. I know we're going to have two that you're going to give away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then ideally, I want to bring more. I don't. I'm working
Okay.
out how much I want to spend on getting pumps out there, right?
Yeah.
And then the ones that would be for sale would also we could just use them. That's kind of what I have in
Okay.
mind is like, hey, these are in the jam room. People can use them because the more you use a pump, the better it's going to work.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
initially, it's going to feel a little bit tighter. I mean, that's pretty common even with the other brands that have been out there at first. But
Yes.
as it kind of gets worn and into place, they just work better the more you use them. So I actually, if I have some ready, I'll take them and use them on a gig just to get them working and kind of get them broken in better.
Yeah.
Um, so it's
No,
yeah,
that's key. That's key. And that's what Common used to do when they came to Bling Bling Jam before they were sold, and they sold out of everything because they let everybody use it during the jam. And that was always a great thing. People, you're right. We really have to get used to it. I mean, once you're
mm,
used to it, and people are
well, and I
trying it.
think too the side hand like the handle style
Yeah.
is so new still. I mean, I know that aircraft pumps was doing those and he kind of made it popular and
Yeah.
introduced it. And his pumps are amazing. If you can get one, he's just getting older, right? I mean, people just they change their life situations change and you just can't get one like that anymore. At least not I can't call you today and have it by next week
I,
sitting
I
in my house, right?
I never had a problem with him, but I don't know, what I'm saying, but he's
No, what I'm
definitely
saying is
sponsoring
that
the event
that's
too. Yeah.
it's just
Sure.
the supply of floor
Sure.
pumps has been pretty lean and
Sure.
that's why I just want to pick up the
Of
slack.
course, of course.
I don't want to steal
Nothing wrong
business.
with
I just
that.
want to help.
Oh, we no, we know that. We know that. No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's great. No, we thank you. Anytime there's another product or whatever that helps the community, people appreciate it, but we also want to make sure that we do support Justin with the pumps because we appreciate that too. And I know that there's already some people that said they were interested in buying them, but they haven't tried them yet. Like I wanted to try it too, but I think it's going to be a great debut, and that's what it usually is coming out to an event.
Also,
Yeah,
I don't, because it's a video, will be up it won't be relevant forever. There
right.
is special pricing for people that are signed up and paid to
Sure.
go to the Bling Bling Jam. So,
Okay. For in-person and
you do get
virtual,
pardon?
we have in-person and virtual for 2025.
Either between now and the end of the jam, because
Sure.
if I was driving, I would bring enough that it was like however many people want to buy, but
Yeah.
we're flying, so
Oh
there's
yeah.
just no way to. It's a 30-hour drive
Oh
to
yeah. No,
drive,
I was wondering when you said that. I was like, I don't know if you're gonna do that.
which we considered it, but we would have made anyway. That's another
Yeah. No. No.
conversation.
No.
So the idea is to have as many as I can get there on site. And then, of course, if people want to buy those, sell them.
Of
And
course.
then either pre-order, have it shipped in, and then Roger can
Yeah.
bring them in so they can get them at the thing, or I'll just take the orders. They would just need to pay for that
Sure.
at before the end, not say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get it," or "I was at the gym." The next day it's over. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's
normally they're 205
yeah.
is the selling price.
Yeah.
Um, and $205, but that would not be there'll be a discount for people that are going to Bling Bling.
Okay.
So at least that's the current price right now and
Okay.
June 20th, 2025. I don't know how long that'll be relevant.
What did you say? What did you
Depending,
say?
I said that's the current price
Oh,
right
yes.
now.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes. Got it.
so
Of
in a
course.
year, I don't know if that'll be relevant. So
Yeah,
that's why I said
and
the date.
everything goes up. Everybody knows that. But we'll still have a link to your Facebook in the description, and you'll send me
Yeah.
that so that way, ongoing years later, people can still order. Just let them know you still heard about this from the Bling Bling Jam YouTube page. I want the residual to help you, Justin, because everything in business is long term, not short term. And when you do something like that, and that's always what we want to do, and we want people to support you since you're supporting the balloon community ongoing and we appreciate that. And I love the pumps, which is great. With that said, so let's just talk about. I know that you'll be there selling the pumps, but you're going to twist a little bit, I think, too. And again, we are a major convention as well. 11 years old.
Probably a lot bit.
Yeah, no, no, no. Well, we have a good amount of people. I don't know what the number, maybe 150. We're not like huge, but we have a good amount of people coming, deco twisting. But and super excited you're coming. Uh, on a personal twister's note, remove yourself from the pumps for a minute. Why are you excited about coming? Because I know you've never been. I know it's Vegas, but that's another story. I know you have friends coming that want to see you, saying as well. And you want to see them. I'm assuming and why people think people should come.
So everything that you get, I'm excited to come because I always learn something. And at this point, I don't learn a lot because I know like the basics, right? And when most people come to a convention, they soak it up, and you learn so much when you're fresh coming in. But to come and I know Ken Stillman's going to be there to
He
sit
is.
around and talk to Ken, I'll probably learn something that's going to help me forever. And it may not be something huge. It may not even be a twist or like a sculpture. It'll be an idea. It'll be a principle. It'll be a trick and how to achieve something like a shortcut, I guess you could say. And that's what I'm excited to go and be around other balloon professionals, I guess, is because everybody has their own way of doing things. And sometimes other people's way is just better. And you just you're like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Or
Right.
like, that is genius. I've had that problem too. Thank you. Right. And for me, that's what I really look forward to is picking up those little nuggets, I guess. Before I say, do I enjoy classes? Yeah, I do. I enjoy like learning specific sculptures, but really what's most valuable for me is learning ideas and principles and like tricks, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
So that's what I'm excited about, is to
Sure.
see what people are doing, because I've been out of conventions for a while, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what people are doing now
And
compared to
you're, yeah.
what people were doing, right?
Yes. And you're in for a treat because Bling Bling Gem is a little different, but that's good. That's really good. I'm excited about that. Anything else you wanted to share, Justin, in terms of anything we might have missed about your balloon career, about your pumps, about Bling Bling, about uh your debut at Bling Bling with the pump? I don't know. Whatever you want to say.
No, I'm excited to be there and to meet
Great.
everybody, people I haven't met, and see people that I've known a long time and hadn't seen. So we're
Great.
excited. I'm excited to bring my son to a convention. He's
Yes.
never been to
Yes.
anything like that. He's fresh into being a little bit interested in balloons.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot going on for me there.
Yeah.
Just with meeting new people, seeing old people, not old people, but old friends.
People have been around. We know what you meant. We're all getting old, Justin.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's really, we're excited about it. He's never flown before, so
Oh, really?
like
Oh,
the whole
wow.
experience
Oh,
is a
wow.
lot. It's going to be
Are you
fun
staying in the
for me.
haunted hotel?
We are not.
Oh, good. Me either. Okay, me either. Good, 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 good.
I'm more of
I
a
thought you
funny
were into
guy,
that. I
not a
wasn't
scary
sure.
guy.
Yeah,
No, I'm more of a funny guy. I'd like
yeah.
funny stuff, not scary stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Unlike Vlad, who the interview went out to say, he insists on staying in the scary parts. We're all different, which is great. That's great. Well, we're excited to see you and meet your son. It's gonna be amazing. We're excited to see the pumps in action, and I think it's gonna be great. And everybody, make sure you show Justin some love and put a comment down. He'll be watching this. This will air next week, most likely on Wednesday at 1 o'clock East Coast time, and also comment and likes or whatever it is. And again, we'll have a link in the description. And again, for Justin, for all you guys watching, as you guys know, conventions are always great to share, and we live a life of abundance. And at Bling Bling Jam, it's not just about the formulas and all that, which is always great too, but it's also about the rising tide of making sure we teach each other what we're worth and what our self-worth is and our business side is. And we just want to share and we want to support vendors like Justin, although he's sort of like a one guy vendor, but it's still great because we're excited what he's doing for us and the community and helping the people solve a problem. And obviously, he cares about something, otherwise, he wouldn't do it. So, we're excited about the feedback from him on his pumps, and it's going to be great. So, thanks everybody so much for watching, and let's bling it on, everybody. Over and out. You guys have a good one. Bye bye.